Hello, I'm Davia Chambers. Thank you for joining us. This week we've got a special edition for you. We're at the home of Let's Talk Tobago, the office of the Chief Secretary at the Administrative Complex in Calder Hall. It's the administrative engine of the Tobago House of Assembly and also houses the offices of the Chief Secretary and the Chief Administrator. We've got lots in store for you today. Let's Talk Tobago starts now. This week, we hear about some young people in Tobago who are taking a proactive approach to the dialogue on crime. The Tobago Good Foods Project is promoting high-quality food production on the island, and later, the inspiration behind a marathon that's taking the scenic route through Tobago. Don't go away. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back.
From the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea, through lush tropical rainforest and picturesque seaside villages, to the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean on Tobago's east coast, experience a destination marathon like no other. Sponsored by Flow and Republic Bank Limited. 4 races, 2 days, 1 finish line. The Tobago Sea-to-Sea Marathon, May 21st and 22nd, 2016. Come for the race, stay for the place. The possibilities are endless. Register now at c2cmarathon.com and get ready to experience the beautiful challenge in Tobago.
Food security is a worldwide priority. It's no different in Tobago as the agricultural sector is being given a boost. That's the inspiration behind the Good Food Project. It's meant to support local producers and increase the availability of food locally. It's also putting emphasis on proper agricultural practices so that food is produced at a consistently high standard. Here's Keyshawn Wilson with more.
It's a collaboration between local companies and the European Business Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago. The program is called the Tobago Good Foods Project, which promotes food from producers that employ recommended agricultural and processing practices and respect the environment. The successful ventures of the Tobago Good Foods Project were toured by a team from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Tobago House of Assembly, and the European Business Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago.
These projects as very important projects to the development of the agricultural sector in Tobago have decided to support the private owners with support that we can do internally. We had to develop the access to Mr. Moore's plot.
The project beneficiaries are now offering herbs and spices, processed fruit jams and jellies, goat's milk, and permaculture, among others.
The idea is that we assure growth and sustainability. The idea is that we look to cutting the food, reducing the food import bill, satisfying our local and local demand both in Tobago and in Trinidad as well, and moving further out of exporting out of Trinidad and Tobago because of the uniqueness of some of the projects that we have seen here today.
And once this sector is developed, it can contribute to the island's gross domestic product.
We are continuing to promote Tobago's products, and additionally we are providing the necessary support through the business development unit to ensure that the products are ready in terms of labeling, packaging and testing. In addition to the funding that we give to entrepreneurs through the Enterprise Assistance Grants and loan programs, we provide the necessary support. So where we at is a very pivotal and critical junction in terms of the development of Tobago's products.
The European Business Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago supported the Tobago Good Foods Project to the tune of $2 million TT. I'm Keyshawn Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now, for any society, crime is a burning issue that can affect citizens of any age. There's a general belief that tackling this social issue requires a special emphasis on at-risk youth and providing them with a support system to ensure they succeed in life. But a group of young Tobagonians is taking a proactive approach by discussing solutions to the problem. More in this story.
Crime isn't only an issue affecting the youth, but the trends, particularly of violent crime in Trinidad and Tobago, are a cause for concern. That's why some young Tobagonians decided to host a youth debate to get solutions to the burning issues.
You think that because you live in a place that people know you, or you lived somewhere for years, or you are accustomed to walking outside at 11 o'clock or midnight, taking clothes from your washing machine, and it's normal because you've done it so many times and nothing has happened, that you can keep doing that. It's only then that I realized that where I lived had a high incidence of a number of unsavory persons moving into the community, unbeknownst to the people who live there.
Throughout the discussions, the young people came to a conclusion that crime really begins in one place, at home.
It could start in many ways. Mommy is not at home because she's out working. So she leaves a 5-year-old Cindy and 8-year-old Danny and 12-year-old Peter at home, and Peter has to take care of his 2 other siblings. In law, that is neglect. So we have a mother and perhaps even a father not being there to properly supervise their children. And then eventually, Peter gets tired of always having to look after his 2 siblings, and then probably is encouraged by Sydney to go down to the beach and probably play, and then they break somebody's window, and then there it starts.
So what's the solution?
We have to start in the community, fix our youth, fix the roots of the problem, fix our homes, know what we're teaching our children.
The debaters hope that other youths in Tobago will support efforts to curb crime, starting in their own communities. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
Tobago is known for its wonderful beaches, and in this next story, one event will take participants from one coast of the island to another. The Tobago International Sea-to-Sea Marathon is the first marathon in Tobago to be certified by the International Athletics Governing Body, the IAAF. Omadara Mills tells us how the organizers came up with the concept and how it could change the face of sporting tourism. Here's more.
The Tobago International Sea-to-Sea Marathon is an IAAF series of races consisting of a full marathon, half marathon, 10K and a 5K over 2 days. A group of colleagues came up with the concept as a way to help develop the island's tourism sector.
Tobago has a lot of unique features, particularly its natural environment, and the Sea-to-Sea Marathon incorporated, for instance, our world-renowned rainforest, protected rainforest, into the course, and therefore we think that is something that we can help to use as a marketing feature all over the world, because it is what makes us unique rather than any other destination. So from that sense, we can see it boosting tourism. We would get people that we may not normally get.
All of the races will end here at this light pole on Pittitru Beach in Lowlands on the Atlantic side of the island. Now this area will be transformed into a marathon village with food, craft and other activities reflective of the island's culture. The event is organized by Sea-to-Sea Events Limited and has sponsorship from various corporate institutions and the THA.
Working with the THA is extremely important. We could not execute successfully an event like this if we did not have the THA as a partner. They have been extremely supportive in helping us to prepare the infrastructure for the race itself.
Other activities surrounding the marathon include a youth training camp which will prepare young people for the event, and a community walk that's scheduled to take place on May 21st.
We hope that people will come and have an extreme amount of fun, because apart from the running and the competing, some people are doing this just to achieve something. Every single person who competes in this race, who even if they walk from the beginning to the end, will get a finisher's medal and they will get a fabulous t-shirt. And this is a historic event. This is the first time something like this is happening in Tobago, an IAAF certified event. So they would have a chance to say they participated in history.
Over 700 people have registered for the event, which is scheduled for the 21st and the 22nd of May. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Coming up, one group of young people is making heavenly music. See you on the other side of this break. We all want food that's produced at the highest standard in hygienic conditions. To ensure the island's farms stay free of the avian influenza virus or other diseases that can be spread by affected migrating birds, there's a workshop to strengthen the region's sanitary protocols. Omadara Mills tells us about its latest stop in Tobago and reactions from the local farmers.
This is the H5N1 virus, a type of avian influenza which causes symptoms such as lack of appetite, ruffled feathers, swollen head, neck and feet in domestic poultry such as ducks, chickens and turkeys. There's also a sudden and high mortality rate for the infected animals. The virus hasn't been reported in Tobago, but livestock farmers were educated on the disease as a preventative measure at a biosecurity workshop.
Biosecurity is important. It just means keeping diseases out because you're all about production, and diseases significantly affect production. So the more you can do about keeping your disease risk to a minimum, all else being equal, you should be able to have optimum production.
The farmers were encouraged to ensure their workers and visitors practice proper hygiene on their farms. This includes using a clean foot bath and practicing proper hand washing techniques.
I usually washed my hand pretty well compared to what I was doing, but I learned the thumb. Like, I usually interlace, I'm not going to lie, but that thumb, I really did. Yeah, I have natural long nails, so I have to be more mindful of my nails and stuff like that. So it was fascinating to see the glow.
The seminar is funded by the 10th European Development Fund. It's meant to encourage better sanitary conditions and increase production. It should also give local farmers a competitive advantage by ensuring that they meet international hygiene and food safety standards.
Some of it I can use. Yeah, some of it I can use in my way of farming, but it'd be more beneficial to people who have animals that are penned and in cages.
The seminar was facilitated by the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment in collaboration with the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
A big part of netball is health and fitness. That's one of the reasons the local netball fraternity is joining the fight against cancer. They're seeking to bring awareness of the disease using the popular sport. Crystal George tells us about a special event being hosted on the island with the public being invited. Here's more.
It's a netball tournament with a twist. On May 22nd at Shore Park, the Tobago Netball League and Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society will be collaborating, all in the efforts of raising awareness about cancer.
And what we're trying to do is to highlight not only to netballers but to the entire community the importance of taking care of our bodies, the importance of living healthy lifestyles, because as you're aware, cancer is a lifestyle disease. And so the Cancer Society is going to be up here during that week. And so on the 22nd of May, we're going to have like a netball extravaganza.
Throughout the day, the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society will be on site with information booths.
We're going to have a tournament, but at the same time, throughout the afternoon, we are going to have information booths, testing being done, screening being done, pap smears, whatever, to let the community be aware of the fact that they need to be sensitive to their own bodies and to their lifestyles.
10 teams from both Tobago and Trinidad would be a part of the tournament, and there will be an all-star team representing both islands.
We really want a great turnout, seeing that the event it took place in Trinidad. We're trying to have a greater impact in Tobago. Our job in Tobago is to at least raise funds for the awareness.
The event is supported by the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
Being a midwife isn't a very glamorous job, but it's an important one. They're hardly ever in the spotlight for their invaluable work. But on the International Day of the Midwife, the island's specialists were recognized for their valuable contributions. Here's Keyshawn Wilson to tell us more about their special day.
The role of a midwife is so important. They care for expectant moms before delivery. They ensure that babies are delivered safely, and they give support even after the child has been born. So the Tobago Regional Health Authority and the Division of Health and Social Services paid tribute to their midwives as they celebrated International Day of the Midwife.
The job of a midwife is becoming more difficult due to the fact that many of these expectant mothers have conditions ranging from obesity, hypertension, diabetes, sickle cell, and the list can go on. So each patient presents to you, the midwife, in a unique way.
Midwives around the world work hard every day to ensure women and newborns receive the quality care that they deserve.
They are counselors, they are friends, and of course they are teachers to many of us. So the role of a midwife is multidimensional, multi-specialized, multifaceted. And for that here today, the team I Am a Midwife is a very special one. And I would like to thank all the midwives.
The TRHA has started new initiatives to develop the maternity department at the Scarborough General Hospital.
There is a plan to start the epidural service, for which most of the midwives have already received training. Lamaze classes have started at this hospital with positive feedback being received from the pregnant women and their partners who attend as they welcome these educational sessions. Midwives are now present at the antenatal clinics to assist with the assessment of new patients, and lectures are also being done at this clinic.
The theme for the 2016 celebration was I Am a Midwife. I'm Keishon Wilson for Let's Talk Tobago.
On the other side of the break, highlights of the latest face-to-face community meeting. Stay with us. Let's Talk Tobago will be right back.
From the turquoise waters of the Caribbean Sea through lush tropical rainforest and picturesque seaside villages to the rugged coast of the Atlantic Ocean on Tobago's east coast, experience a destination marathon like no other. Sponsored by Flow and Republic Bank Limited. 4 races, 2 days, 1 finish line. The Tobago Sea-to-Sea Marathon, May 21st and 22nd, 2016. Come for the race, stay for the place. The possibilities are endless. Register now at sea2seamarathon.com and get ready to experience the beautiful challenge in Tobago.
It's said that practice makes perfect. In this next story, you'll hear about a group that's been practicing constantly over the past few months, seeking to produce that perfect sound. But it's not just about the music. The founders of the island's newest steel orchestra are focused on changing the life of youth in the Calder Hall and Darrell Spring communities and making sweet music in the process. Here's Omadara Mills with the scoop.
Is the sweet sound of our national instrument, the result of 34 sessions and 3 months of persistent practice, and members of the Heavenly Sounds Steel Orchestra were able to show off their skills at the orchestra's inaugural ceremony. The group was born out of the desire to make a positive change in the lives of youths in the Darrell Spring and the Calder Hall communities.
In these areas, you have a lot of single parents. You have children bringing up children, teenage pregnancy. We also have a lot of gambling and drug use. So it was our view that if these children and youths are engaged in other activities, it will help them to stay away from those practices.
The orchestra needed sponsorship to acquire their steel pans, and the Division of Community Development and Culture lent some support.
Pans are very expensive, and if they did not give us that first tranche, that first set of money, then I don't think we would have been able to start. So I believe this is a very good guest here for other churches to approach Community Development Division, because our aim is to help those in the community.
Since their first practice session in January, the band has grown from 13 to 20 members between the ages of 5 and 35. The steel orchestra allows the members to learn a new skill, become more disciplined, and relieve stress. But that's not all.
We notice that the children are more focused, right? And this would not only help them at the band, but also in school. It is not only developing a motor skill, but it helps children academically, right? What we notice again, it builds team spirit, because one child would learn and they would help the other children to learn.
At the launch, members were also recognized for their development and good behavior. As the orchestra grows, it will be a testament to the proactive efforts of organizations in helping to mold better citizens for our future. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
There's an old adage that says you're never too old to learn, and apparently you're never too young either. One prep school is using that idea to help give its young students a head start in life. The school's principal believes that learning about social issues is just one way of giving the children a firm foundation. Omadara Mills has the story on a very special visit by these adorable youngsters. Take a look.
Aspiring nurses, police officers, pianists, and drummers. These are the 4- and 5-year-olds of Little Hearts Preparatory School who visited the Chief Secretary Orville London. 5-year-old Amory Webster wants to be a doctor so that she can help sick people get better. This was her question to Mr. London.
What can we do as children to contribute or help in making Tobago a better place?
Well, I think the thing you can do is to be the best little person that you can be. In other words, whatever you do it well.
Amory was happy to learn about the Chief Secretary's portfolio as leader of the Tobago House of Assembly from the man himself.
I feel great.
The trip will help the pupils complete their social studies assignment called Project Future. The principal of this early childhood school, Andrea Rivas, says it is important for them to start becoming aware of the social issues around them.
Children are really where it starts, because by the time they are adults, they would have already formulated a number of things in their minds. So we have the luxury of having them at this age, and we give them the foundation.
The visit is one of the school's objective to engage children in real-life experiences as part of their learning process.
It is important that they get to touch and feel, as it were, what they will be reading about, because it is awesome to read something in a book. It is great to hear it from the teachers and the people around you and the parents. But when you are able at this age to get that first-hand look, it no longer becomes something that I'm dreaming about and it's all the way out there. It's something that they can see right in front of them, and it makes it easier for them to aspire to it.
This class session is one that the 10 pupils from the infant department will remember for a long time. I'm Omadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
You may know that the Tobago House of Assembly is currently on a series of community meetings across Tobago's 12 electoral districts. The annual face-to-face community meetings give the public an opportunity to talk with THA officials. Our cameras rolled into Lambo Signal Hill for the latest meeting, where residents met their area representative to get updates on the work done in the area and to provide suggestions on what can be improved. They even made a special request to the island's leaders. We hear more from Crystal George.
The electoral district of Lambo Signal Hill was the latest stop for the face-to-face community meeting series. It allowed the district's area Mr. Jumo Pitt representative to present his plans for the area for 2016. So far, the main issues at the meetings have been infrastructure and agriculture, but this meeting took a different twist. Views and suggestions relayed a question close to the hearts of the Lambo villagers. What's next for the Lambo Anglican School?
There is a problem with overcrowding at the Lambo AC School.
I know they talk about plans about moving the school and all these kind of things, but there are adjacent properties to the school which can be looked at. Why the property instead of, because the school is a landmark for years. You understand? I like to see the school stay at that place and just improve the property around it to make it better for the children and them.
So I am for the school remaining where it is, and I am for you investigating whether we could comfortably acquire the property directly in front and the one that is adjacent on the side.
Once we could get the property to buy right there at a reasonable price, we put on the little ground right there and we own the school in Lambo.
Of course, we'll ensure that nothing is done except the consultation is increased with the people of Lambo. But I think I get a general feel as to what the issues are. But we will definitely not do anything except we have meaningful and extensive consultation with the residents.
Proper street signage has been high on the THA's list, and signs continue to be installed in communities across Tobago. But one resident raised questions about the signs being laid in Signal Hill.
In Signal Hill, I noticed some signs going up. And they are not right.
The signs that we engage in to put up, the names of the streets, were determined through a process involving TT posts and the various village councils around the island. It would seem that in some cases, the persons in the village councils that were dealt with by TT posts may not have had all the accurate information. However, we in the division, where errors are made and it's brought to our attention, we do make necessary corrections. We have had to do so a number of times, and certainly if there are issues in terms of Signal Hill operations, as was mentioned, bring it to the attention of the division and we would treat with it.
The next meeting is scheduled for May 24th at the Bethel Community Center. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
It's Have Your Say time, and we want to hear your thoughts on this week's topic. We asked, do you think the vehicular speed limit should be raised? Here's what some of you had to say.
They shouldn't raise it at all because too much accidents happening in Trinidad and Tobago. People going over the limit too much. They're driving too wild and too crazy and putting people's lives in danger.
Man has become lawless. They don't want to obey nothing. Even though you put it at 200, it's still not going to work. So because of that, because of man attitude, and I'm not in agreement that they're raising it.
I don't think they should raise the speed limit. It is just good because the young people today, they does not take their time on the road, and vehicle does not go into hospital. It's in people's life they endangering.
At 65, that is snail pace. Granny Lucius could run past a car with 65, right? It will cause real traffic on the highway. But for saving people's lives, that is one part, it should really keep at 65.
We got too much accidents and murders and, you know, we don't really want that. So I feel they should drop it.
It should remain as it is because we already seen the carnage on our nation roads. So why raise the speed limit to over 80 kilometers per hour? I really believe it should be kept at 80 kilometers per hour.
As always, we thank you for watching. Email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and productive week.